Hello, this is Cindy from Part-Time Permies, and I see Kiri and my mother-in-law in the room. Hello, hello. Um, yeah, happy Easter, you guys. Mike will be joining us hopefully soon. Maybe with Bella, maybe without. He's actually trying to get her to get down to sleep right now, but not sure if that's working. I keep hearing squeals from the bedroom back there, so we'll see how that goes. Someone's a little bit wound up tonight. I guess a little too much chocolate and good food, and she's been going all day today, which she is probably going to sleep well tomorrow. But hello to Kiri, to Kara, to Tina, and Rebel Canners. Happy Easter to all of you. We had a very busy day with guests over here today, so we'll run through some pictures. Lots of different projects going on since last time we were on, and I apologize. I have like footage for about 3 videos to put up, edit and put up, but have been trying to get everything done, and with Bella have not had hardly any time to edit pictures. But yeah, Puddin is exhausted as well. We had guests over earlier, and she did really well with them, but she is worn out. So yeah, we'll go through some of that. Lots of projects going on this last month. Couple videos that are almost done that will probably be released in the next week or so. So be on the lookout for those. I would say 2 of 3 are almost done. What's on the round coffee table? There are 2 stuffed chickens and a goose that's laying down on its side. So it's Bella's flock that came from Grandma Murray, who's in the chat room right now. But so Bella has her own flock of chickens there on the coffee table over there. But and Helix is trying to join me. I don't think you can see his tail, but you might catch a glimpse of it in Mike's normal seat. So. But yeah, we definitely had a busy day. I hope everybody here had a happy Easter, and we had a beautiful day here. I don't even know what it got up to, but felt hot to us. It got into at least the 70s. It didn't hit 80. It got into the 70s though. Hi, white picket fence. So it was sunny. It was gorgeous. We spent just about the entire day outside today. It's perfect, but I'm gonna go jump back in time because it seems like a whole different season since we last saw you, because I think that was just after the Texas freeze, and we were heading up north to the Upper Peninsula just after the last time we chatted with you guys. So we do have some pictures from that, so I'll start going through some of that. We went to the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. So we got to see 3 of the 5 Great Lakes. Got pictures at 2 of them. Here is most of our pack. Of course, Mike took the picture here with the dog, the baby, and going sightseeing. And this is off of a bay on Lake Michigan that was still completely frozen over. In fact, when we were up there, it was pretty much the last weekend of ice fishing that they have up there. And yes, white picket fence, I have some pictures. Bella did go hunting for eggs today. So 69 degrees at Rebel Canners. Yeah, you are more north than us. I didn't double check the temperature, but it was definitely, must have been in the 70s because we were actually getting pretty hot and we're not acclimated to it. Although I love the 70s. So anyway, this is up north on Lake Michigan, and we have a picture of Mike and I when we were on Lake Superior. We pretty much drove around. There were a lot of things that were closed, but some of the outdoor places we could go to, a couple of the self-serve lighthouses we went to. This was again on Lake Michigan, the three of us. It was unseasonably warm while we were there, although yes, there was still ice in the Great Lakes, and I hear Bella crying now. Oh my goodness. But we did travel around. We got to go up to Marquette. We went over down to Escanaba. And we were kind of in the middle of the entire peninsula. Had a cabin in the Hiawatha National Forest. It was just a little too much snow and kind of that icy, melty, refreeze snow in the forest to get a good hiking in. So we didn't really do much hiking, but we did do a lot of walking and exploring different areas in the area, or different different beaches and stuff in the area. So on our way back, we made a stop in Mackinac City and picked up some smoked fish, and this guy was actually pulling some other meats out of the smoker that they had going, so we stopped there and picked up some goodies. And so we spent about a half a week up there, about 5 days, I guess. And it was just relaxing, a lot of fun, and nice to see the other part of our state that is hard to get to. I mean, it took us to get all the way up there. It was about a 7-hour drive, 7-8 hour drive. So Michigan is a pretty darn big state, and we had to go all the way north on the lower peninsula and then halfway across the upper peninsula. So it can take all day to drive all of the upper and lower peninsula. It's a long drive. But it was a lot of fun. We also, when we returned, we were finishing the syrup. So we're boiling it down, and I think Mike may have just texted me. Let me just double check. Oh no. I heard her crying back there. She just bumped her head against Mike's knee. Hopefully that's not going to leave too much of a bump. Did we buy any Mackinac fudge? No, we actually did not, but we did get some taffy up there. So yeah, we did get some taffy, saltwater taffy. We got smoked fish, and we got pasties is another Upper Peninsula specialty. When we went to Marquette, the funny thing is we found a Creole restaurant in Marquette, which was really good. You never expect that in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to find a good Creole, like Louisiana restaurant that had everything from alligator on the menu to, your crawfish and stuff. So it was good. But trying to see if I missed anything else there. Oh, we did get our syrup boiled down, and Tina, I know you asked for a video on that. I did take some short clips. I got to throw that together, but it's been the third thing on my list. So it's kind of getting out of syrup season. So I'll probably put one together for you anyway, and get a boiling the syrup short video. Yeah, pasties are delicious. And we did, oh my goodness, we've been starting seeds. So I have seed trays going. These guys have already been, I guess you call it potted. They're in soil blocks. So we put them into larger soil blocks. That's okra starting there. We have eggplant. We have peppers starting. And while I'm making soil blocks, Bella was playing at her water table. So we had a nice day outside, and I set up, I didn't get a picture of my setup, but Bella was doing water table, and I think so. Oh, they're both coming out. Bella, you not sleeping?
She's very sleepy.
You are very sleepy. Here, say hi. Say hi. Gonna sit on Mama's lap.
She's crashing around. She's very sleepy.
Okay, we're gonna see if we could get the camera lower. Dada. There's Dada on the screen. You're right. Can we do that? Okay. I don't know. For some reason, it turned a little more red, but on the camera. Oh, well. That seemed odd. Maybe it's the light. Oh, actually, you can turn on this bright light here. Let's get some better lighting. Oh,
She's not
sorry.
supposed to have bright lights. She's supposed to have blue lights.
There we go.
I
Brighter
turn the
lights.
lights off in the kitchen. I could turn that
That
one.
probably, no, we're okay. We're good with this. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Anyway, my computer sounds like it's taking off too. Yeah, that is right.
Is that light plugged into the computer?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you're pulling a lot of power out of the
That's
computer.
probably it.
Because we never had that go off until a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's true.
It's that
That's
light.
probably what it is. Okay, well.
Let's turn that down a little bit.
Yeah, I can actually. Sorry about that. Adjustments being made. I can actually dim this a little bit too. So we have a bunch of people in the room, including your mom, and we went through vacation and pictures of the 2 big lakes.
Too warm.
It was warm.
Vacation.
It was warm. But we still had snow on the ground. The bays were still frozen. That's a big yawn. And but I had just shown the picture of the smoked fish guy that you bought
We
stuff
still
from.
have some trout in the
Yeah.
fridge. We need to finish it before it goes bad.
We got trout
It's quite
and
expensive.
salmon and
a little bit jerky.
Yeah.
Jerky, but mostly trout and salmon.
Yep. So we got a bunch of stuff there. We have the seeds that we were starting that we went through. Bella keeping busy at her water table. It was probably in the 50s. Yeah. It was probably in the 50s when we brought out the water table, so it was still pretty chilly. That's why she's in a coat. But she was having fun there, and yeah. And we also have another project going where we're hatching eggs, and these are expected to hatch next weekend. And so there were 2 that didn't look fertile when I candled them. Lockdown, I think, will be on Wednesday. So yeah, it'll be coming up here. We were outside all day today. We planted some things. I don't know if you can see that. That's peas. And I was outside earlier in the week and planted some onions, and I finished planting those today, and also planted some carrots and radishes and a bunch of different greens today. So we got those in the ground. A lot of cold hardy things, but still going direct into the ground outside. And Bella's been enjoying. Yeah, there's Bella. Bella's been enjoying playing out in the garden with me. So, and again, this was when I was planting the onions, the first batch, and it was still chilly, but today it was like
70 or just over.
Yeah.
I think we're supposed to be like 74 or 76 on tomorrow or Tuesday? Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
I looked up the high already. I think the high is 81 for all-time high. So we're not, we're not going to break an all-time high unless it really gets warm, but we're not going to be too far off.
No.
It's really warm.
It is really warm right now.
We're having a very early spring. This is like spring in New York some years.
And Bella picked out this outfit to wear for Easter today. So she had, I think, 3 changes in her pants, but she wore this nice blue dress, which is sleeveless. So when the day started, we started with a sweater on, but that did come off today.
It got quite dirty and then shed that.
It did get quite dirty. And we hid some Easter eggs outside around the area. So we did do an Easter egg hunt. We invited our Jewish friend and her foster daughter. So they came and joined us. And well, before today, you keep seeing yourself on the video. Before today, Mike did a bunch of, you had a bunch of eggs decorated for the business.
So I have duck eggs and I have a bunch of goose eggs, which we haven't really worked with before, that I've been getting. Been getting them a good deal from a local farmer, and they've been sitting around, and I had this idea a few days ago why don't we use one of the staff who was willing to work for a little more time and have her come in and decorate some eggs. So we got a bunch of the more modern dye kits and did, I think, about 3 dozen eggs and did them up pretty nice. And then I knocked the bottoms out of them after they were dry and tried to clear the egg. Although I did get a few of them had a little egg left in them when they got hot and cold at market. Pushed out the last bit. And then I sprayed them with some polyurethane, a little water-based polyurethane, and give them a little extra shine, and we sent them to market and put them out, and we sold a few. We just put them out for a few dollars, just for a 1-week deal. But we sold a few, so it's a small market. Nobody else had anything like it.
Yeah.
Lots of people had eggs. Nobody had eggs ready to go.
Not any, all decorated and everything.
So that was.
So that was. We used some of those to hide outside.
Yeah.
We
Brought a lot of them back. So.
Yeah, we used some plastic eggs to hide outside, and we used some hard-boiled real eggs, undecorated chicken eggs to hide outside. So we had how old is Viola?
6, I think.
6 years old. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Around there. So we had a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old doing Easter egg hunt, each one with a parent. Helping. I hid the eggs, so Mike went and helped Bella find eggs, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to do that. Got geese on 2 nests right now. Yeah, they can be. We have male geese guarding chickens who are broody right now, so
He's
which
being
is
a real
problem.
pain the last day or two.
Yeah, Gus is trying to keep all the other chickens out of the coop at night because
all day long
and everything.
It's one of the one chicken he likes. He attacked me earlier in the week when she was just beginning to go broody.
Yeah.
It's the first time he full on attacked me. He tried to bite me. He whacked me so hard with his wings he gave me a small bruise through my muck boot, through the rubber, and then he hit me in the leg. It wasn't too bad, and first time ever I had to go in and grab his neck and
I grabbed his
neck. To him and tell him we weren't going to do that.
I had to grab his neck today.
I almost did today. Yeah, he's getting really aggressive.
No, I did earlier today because we had a rooster from the other flock who jumped over into his flock, and he is guarding his whole flock.
He's very aggressive right now.
From anybody who's not supposed to be over there. I'm glad he accepted everybody.
He's backed off since I held his neck. I just held his neck for a minute and said, no, I don't think so. And but he's I chased him around trying to get him out of the coop last night so the other chickens could run in while he was out.
Yeah.
Which was pretty good until he almost missed the door and he realized he was going to run into the fence and he's flapping all over and he trampled over the top of our rooster.
Oh no.
So yeah, we're gonna have to separate those out a little bit.
Yeah, so yeah, we have a little adjustment to do here.
7 chicks today.
Wow. Just got hissed at, honked at. Yeah, no, Gus is being a little more aggressive.
He's fine. He's not that crazy, but we do have to watch him.
He doesn't attack me, but I did have to hold his neck because he was attacking the rooster who accidentally got into his flock. And I got the rooster out, but he was in between the fences and stuck in between the fences. And Gus grabbed his tail and would not let him go through the fence. So, yeah, that I had to grab his neck to get him to let go of the rooster, basically. So it's a little bit of drama going on right now outside.
They'll be in their summer coop in probably a week or two if this weather holds up.
Yeah, we'll probably get them shifted out soon. Yeah, she should drop off to sleep.
She was squirming all around. I had her lay down in bed, and she was squirming around, putting her head down and crashing. Just was almost playing some music. She was about ready to go to sleep, but she's pretty tired.
She is. She has been going and going all day today. This was a picture of her earlier today. We had a fun dessert that you made for our guests who came here, the berry pie.
Yeah, so last night I made 2 berry pies. And I did something I don't usually, I made them with lard, which I never really do. Because I didn't feel like making with Crisco, and one of our guests is dairy free. So I all of a sudden realized right before I made them, I had a pound of butter out. I'm like, oh, I better not do that. They may come over. And so I actually ran over to the store and bought some lard, which was absolutely appalling to her. Not because she's culturally Jewish, but doesn't have a dietary issue, but just doesn't eat a lot of fat. Doesn't know a lot about what goes into things, and of course it's de-aromatized cooking lard. So it's. I said, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. So we did do I did a quick lard crust, and we had frozen berries in the freezer. We had quite a bit of frozen berries. But I thought Bella might be eating through the winter, but she really hasn't been eating. Haven't really been feeding them to her actually.
Yeah.
And so it's commercial, organic. I think.
And some of our berries.
Strawberries, blackberries, raspberry blend, and then we had a few of ours. So I made 2 pies, and I did freeze one uncooked, and then I cooked one of those today, this morning. I guess late morning we cooked one, which we've had about half of it, and then we threw a ham in the oven after the pie was done, so that by early afternoon we had a ham ready.
Yeah.
And so we had ham and pie.
We
had some sweet potatoes and such. So kind of a somewhat traditional Easter.
Yes. And along with that Easter dinner, or that was at lunch, so supper,
late lunch, mid-afternoon lunch.
Late lunch, and then for dinner, we actually had something very Jewish.
Something that I've never cooked before, and fully. So
yes. So this is matzo ball soup that we had for Passover. So basically, and what did you guys eat? So you had brunch potluck at church.
Yeah, not a lot of potlucks going around our area right now. We are Michigan's kind of peaking COVID territory right now.
Again.
Our county's not too bad, best we know, but and restaurants are still open at 50%, and churches can have services. We did not go, but I haven't been vaccinated yet. I'm supposed to get vaccinated this week. I was told I have an appointment finally.
Yeah.
But I would say that the whole buffet and potluck deal is off again this year for sure.
Yeah.
So we kind of took it easy and had a somewhat non-traditional Easter here this year.
Yeah.
But bacon pecan pie sounds fine if you balance it out right. It makes a nice crispy smoky bacon in there. It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
The more bacon and pecan and the less goo in it, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're not for that gooey pie.
I don't like it overly sweet and gooey. I don't mind it being sweet, but I would rather have a lot of pecans and a small amount of goo.
Yeah. No cases in your county.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we definitely have some. In fact, at work, one of my colleagues, both her parents have it, and her dad was just taken to the hospital this weekend, because he was having breathing issues and hopefully will not be ventilated.
Yeah, the numbers are up about 4 times from what they were a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of the hospitals have gone to restricting visitation and who can come, even immediate family again. It's not a crisis.
Hi, Miranda.
It's not a crisis yet as far as being able to handle it, but they're getting concerned in some areas, and they're definitely starting to take a few precautions at the hospitals. So
Bella,
we're on the watch. We have the Brazilian variant and we have the British variant in Michigan right now, but I think most places do.
Bella decided to take, we have this antique egg basket with the bottom, you want that on? The bottom comes out of it, and she decided, we keep blocks in it. She has the blocks all dumped out. The bottom's out of it. You okay? Sorry. And she stepped into it. Stepped into it. Are you okay? I accidentally poked her.
She bashed her head or her teeth into my knee a little bit ago and was crying pretty hard because she hit pretty hard.
Yeah, she's tired.
No.
Bella.
So we're back to
matzo ball.
Back to matzo balls. I have never really made matzo balls much. I've had them a few times. Big deal in New York, I would say. Less around here. I was talking with our friend, and she had made some brisket recently. Had made some braised brisket with sautéed onions and such, and we talked about how to do that early. She's teaching so early in the week during during her spring break, and that came out really good, which is actually not the hardest thing to make, and it is very tasty.
Yeah.
And then she was talking about matzo balls, and I said I never really made them much. We made them a couple times in school. It wasn't something we had at any of the places I worked, although they're common in New York at the delis and even at like the Greek diners and just places. It's comfort food. It's chicken soup. So she got her mother's recipe because she had never really made them, and we actually ground up whole matzah instead of using matzah meal, pre-ground matzah meal, because she had some laying around. And so we used her mom's recipe. Put a little extra fresh ground black pepper in. Swapped out the vegetable oil for some duck fat or goose fat that I had, which also appalled her, although that is a traditional thing that would be used, schmaltz, so poultry fat. It's only got like a tablespoon or two in it. It's not very much at all. So we made matzo balls, and they came out very good. The key to a matzo ball is to have them nice and light and fluffy and floating, and not a hard rock in the middle, chewy dough ball. And I think we did a good job.
Yeah, no, it tasted
she
really
was happy
good.
With them.
Bella ate it. Yeah.
We had a good soup base. We had some of our chicken stock. I'm actually out of chicken stock. I have to take it off of our website. Our traditional chicken stock, so we didn't have to do much to it. Sometimes people put a little shred of finely shredded carrot or a little bit of vegetable in there. Sometimes people put a little soup, like a little bit of noodles or shredded chicken in and a matzo ball, but we just did the classic broth with matzo ball, which is probably the most common.
Miranda, yes, thank you for the Easter baskets. We used them today. I do hope you don't mind, since we had a guest over, we used one of them for each girl.
We split some of it up. Yeah.
Obviously we kept the baby stuff with hers because the other girl was 6, but we did use
split up some of the candy mostly.
Yeah.
A few of the goodies.
But it worked perfectly because then they can both go hunting for their own eggs with their own basket and all that. So yes, thank you for those baskets. And we had
You want some hand cream?
She likes hand lotion.
All right.
She likes to rub it. So yeah, we had a great Easter Sunday. We do have a couple food items that we could go over.
Recently.
I didn't pull all the food pictures in this month, but I think if you have any questions for Mike, we're halfway through the show, so
yeah, I guess between vacation, being up north, and other things, we've cooked a reasonable amount this month.
We have. I didn't get a lot of.
We're really not going out, partly with COVID,
yeah,
and partly because it keeps saves money. This is a little slower time for us, for me especially. But Bella is getting fussier and louder and throwing things around, and so she is not.
It's harder to go out.
You can't really just go to fine dining or
No.
really any. She's going to be distracting, so we're really not going out much.
Yeah. We are.
So we're cooking more, but we're cooking
more and getting some stuff taken.
We always cook quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But here's an Ask the Chef question. What is this? This is the one with the wild mushrooms and chicken, and I think we had Brussels sprouts and was it hummus on. It was a meal with the.
Was that some of the leftovers?
It might have been the.
I think
leftovers.
That was a day later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had braised one of our chickens, just in a crock pot with a little liquid, and I threw in some morels, some dried morels. I got a whole bunch of dried morels at a good price, and we've been selling them at market because mushrooms aren't really available right now. So we're selling some dried morels. They're actually selling really well. People are really craving some decent mushrooms right now. But we just I threw a small handful of them in with the crock pot, and they flavored the broth that came with the chicken, and the chicken flavored the mushrooms, and it was very good. I had some quick sautéed Brussels sprouts, but I think this was the second day where we did some wraps with some hummus.
Yes.
And then we're like, well, we'll just or maybe I didn't have a starch with it, and so we're like, we'll just throw some shredded chicken and the Brussels sprouts together and make it into a wrap. So it was a non-traditional wrap, but I think we could sell that one as a pretty nice lunch special at the right restaurant. I think it would sell pretty good.
Okay, White Picket Fence doesn't like Brussels sprouts.
No, I can't help that end of it. Yeah, I bet I could.
I didn't used to like them.
I could probably make you like them unless you have extreme gastrointestinal issues from eating them, and then I won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
My holiday recipe generally can get almost anybody to like them. So,
Yeah.
but this was just as simple.
Yep.
It was just a weeknight dinner, trying to throw some stuff together that had been sitting in the fridge and use it.
Okay, we're gonna adjust the camera here again. Sorry, guys. Moving up. Somebody's getting tired. Oh, sorry about the bump on the knee.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had that. We ate some silkies. Hold on, let me transition.
Yeah, they've been in there for a while. I don't know how long.
These were the freezer.
So we threw 2 silkies in a crock pot one night. Well, it was late. Cindy was sick that day. She ended up with a sudden case of stomach upset
that morning.
in the middle of the night, and had to take a couple days off work between recovering one day and then getting cleared that she wasn't COVID positive, which being vaccinated wasn't real likely, but possible. And so she was feeling better by mid-late afternoon, and so I quickly grabbed chicken stock and 2 silkies, both frozen, and threw them in the pot to make chicken soup, and then I made a quick chicken soup, which we just finished this week. So we've actually had a lot of chicken and a lot of chicken stock, and now I'm out. So I have a bunch of chicken frames in the freezer to make stock. I don't have enough to make commercially and sell.
This was the soup.
Yeah. I had some escarole, so very Italian. Escarole, pulled chicken, duck egg noodles, and classic onion, carrot, celery.
It was good, and like the perfect meal after you have a GI stomach bug, and yeah, that was.
I think I had fresh bread that had just come out of the oven late that day too.
So bread with some butter, good
made
butter
some
on
Irish
it.
butter laying around.
Irish
that
butter
had been on special.
And chicken soup for dinner is.
We had that for a few meals. I gave a quart to one or both of our babysitters. I can't remember who all I had for lunch. So,
Miranda, did you get some chicken soup?
I know Amy got some. I don't know if Miranda got some.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think she might have had some. I know Bella had some for lunch a few times. It was a big pot. It was over a gallon finished, and it's all gone. So I usually freeze some down, but nope.
No, we ate that.
You can keep the rest. Yeah.
But yeah. So any hello Foot. Any questions about cooking tonight? So those were my pictures I had on stuff we made. I mean, what else did we make? We made maple syrup, which we
did do maple. There are pictures from that, right?
I did show a picture of that earlier.
Yeah, we got a gallon and a quarter, gallon and a half somewhere in there.
She didn't get any soup.
Oh, you didn't get any? Well, we'll make chicken soup again, I'm sure.
I guess we will.
It was sitting in the fridge in the big pot. I don't know why you didn't find it.
Oh, no.
I have enchilada casserole in there. It doesn't look very pretty, but it tastes all right.
It tastes really good.
So I'd taken some polenta, not masa meal, but I had polenta. I had chicken. What was that left over? No, it was beef. It was venison sausage and ground beef.
Oh, yes.
And polenta. And then I seasoned the polenta. I made that separate. Seasoned that with some red enchilada sauce, but I seasoned the ground meat with green enchilada sauce. Threw the polenta over the top in a heavy bottom pan. Threw some cheese, and actually threw in a couple tortilla chips just to give it the masa flavor also, but not much. And then I threw a little bit of cheese we had laying over it and just browned it off. It was just kind of Midwest casserole. It tasted very much like enchiladas. It was a lot easier, and it was just, we don't usually make things like that often, just, I don't know. So I just kind of threw it together.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I wouldn't say it was a fancy enchilada by any means, but yeah.
It looks messy, but it's
still got some of that here, Maureen.
Yeah, that's here if you want some.
Eating that for lunch tomorrow.
Yep, you can have that. And we have pie for lunch.
We do have half a pie. Well, probably Cindy wants a second piece.
Oh, a small one.
I promised Amy a small piece, but she won't eat much.
Yeah. So lots of good food going on around here, and yeah, we've been definitely eating at home a lot more.
What else did people cook for this month or
for Easter?
For Easter,
what did you cook for Easter, you guys? smelled nice too.
Oh, you left really well. The chicken was finishing, and the soup had because we finished the soup at 8 o'clock
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah.
Because
That's right.
when you start in the early afternoon and everything's frozen, you're not getting soup before evening.
Yeah.
We smoked some pork a couple weeks ago, and then we did the twice cooked pork stir fry.
Yes.
Which was just to throw together, but that was good with some cabbage, some Napa
Yeah.
cabbage, and that was yummy. Fried rice.
Carrie, okay. Senior center that anyone can eat at made enchiladas a lot. So good. $4 for lunch.
That's a good deal. $4
That is
lunch.
good.
Anywhere you get a $4 lunch and it tastes good.
You can't hardly get a $4 lunch anywhere
No.
anymore. So
No.
yeah.
Even the fast food is
It's
up
$7,
in
$8.
$7, $8, and pushing 10, and it's actually making mom and pop shops and independent shops food look a lot more affordable and a lot better deal.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna pay $10 for a burger and fries, you might as well pay $12 for something.
And the enchilada smells good.
Oh, the enchilada. Oh yeah, okay. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did smell good.
Yeah.
Well, that was the beef, probably browning and whatever. Yeah.
White Picket Fence had cut off. Sorry, a creamy coconut baby shrimp.
Oh, that's good.
That sounds really good. I love shrimp. Tina brined her sea monster and pickle juice.
Okay. Yeah, pickle juice is great.
It has the salt in it. Yeah.
You know, it also has the pH.
Yeah.
Because pickled peppers, like banana peppers that are fairly hot but not crazy hot, makes an awesome brine for chicken. Some people like to brine flank steak in olive juice, not the California, but like the brine. But that can be a little funky, so not everybody. I'd be careful on that one. But that's one of those great utilizations. Is look at the brines that you have laying around in the jars when they're near finished, and think about throwing especially chicken in there.
Yeah. Your mom had ham, candy yams with marshmallows, cauliflower with cheese, green grapes, and chocolate, and a chocolate cookie log. And your sister came over.
I see.
So that sounds good. We did have ham. We had not yams. We had sweet potatoes, both the standard ones and some purple Asian ones, which were really good. And we had some leftover coleslaw that we had around. That's another thing you made the other day. That was good. Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to figure out which meal we were talking about because there's a delay. When I'm reading the comments, they do come through a little bit after what we talk about. So I'm trying to pair it to what we've been talking about.
I bought our ham. It's just a half a spiral ham. It's just a Kirkland spiral ham, which is actually a very good ham. I got it, I don't know, 50 cents or $1 a pound off heading into the end of Christmas. And I didn't know who all was coming and what all was going on. We had a couple meals, but I didn't know if we were going to need another meal. So I grabbed the ham. I'm like, well, it's not going to go to waste. And I'm not surprised at all that it didn't come out till now, but we have lots of ham.
Yeah.
I may freeze a little bit more down or make some
ham and bean soup.
White bean soup with some of it, white bean and kale or whatever, some greens.
Yeah.
So we pulled that out. I think one of the best things we had in New York, we would get whole fresh hams, so uncured, just like a pork. And fresh ham, we would rub it heavily with like a adobo and lots of garlic. And then we would just roast it for 3.5 hours. And so it's kind of a garlicky style ham, which is very common. Worked with a lot of people from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, which is a common way to eat pork, and it's amazing. So that I like that too, aside from the regular brined cured ham.
Oh. And your mom played.
All three that's a lot of services.
That is. You know what I have to put dog pills in is peanut butter. She'll eat it in peanut butter. I put it on her food, and that makes her eat more of her dry dog food too. She's not a huge fan of. She gets goodies in her dry dog food all the time. And nowadays, she'll eat a little bit of her food, and then she waits under the table for Bella to drop things. And then when Bella's done, she might go back to hers, or we might put some of Bella's leftovers in her food, and she gets spoiled now. So, but she does eat more of
When
her
we
food
got
now.
her, I could cook for 2, 3 hours, and she had not a clue what was going on.
Yeah.
She would look at the table. She had no idea what was on a counter.
Now she
Nothing.
stands under Bella's chair because
Now she
Bella
looks to
has.
figure out what we're making.
We have a counter high table with a clamp on chair for Bella, and she stands under Bella's
I
chair.
would say cream cheese and peanut butter are probably two of the strongest appeals for dogs. You could try liverwurst. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people always like that, but dogs typically, if they can't deal with dairy, because a lot of dogs can't do
A lot of
dairy.
cats like liverwurst.
Liverwurst, because it's soft and you can mash things into liverwurst. Of course, then you got that terrible smell on your fingers, so it may not be worth it for people that don't like liverwurst or cheap grocery store liverwurst. But that's another shot.
Yeah.
And a log of liverwurst is pretty cheap for Braunschweiger.
That might work for cat pills.
I think that would work very well for cat pills.
I didn't think of trying that one. Our cat has hyperthyroid, like many old cats do, and I'm having to give him medicine. But he also has an anti-throw up like supplement with like slippery elm and stuff in it. But it's in like you think it's a chicken bouillon base type
I
thing.
think it's crumbly and it's obviously got some filler, some talc or cornstarch or whatever, but it crumbles apart. And
I
I
doubt it's
haven't
talc.
tasted it, but there's talc in a lot of things. But
They've taken talc out of a lot of
yeah, I
things.
don't know.
A lot of things over the last 10
It's probably
years.
cornstarch or arrowroot,
Yeah.
rice starch. But I think the way it crumbles and it's brown and stuff, I'm gonna bet you it's a bouillon that's moderately salty, but not too salty, and that's what makes him want to go for it, like a beef bouillon or something.
So I crumble that over his food in the morning. So I hide the pill on top of his food, but just under that crumble, and he usually will eat it. But yeah, I tried tuna fish. He ate everything but the pill. I tried wrapping it in turkey. He ate everything but the pill. She is really good about getting around it, except when I crumble that stuff all over it. So he's eating it at least. He might miss it one day a week, but he's eating it almost every night. That's another trick. Speaking of the kitty cat, he's down at our feet.
Cranky old man.
Yes, he is. He is getting to be an older cat. He's 11 years old, I want to say, about now. Maybe 12 this spring. Yeah, so probably 12 years old. But yeah, any other cooking questions or any other meals crazy meals they've had over the last
most of the country can start foraging wild greens right now. We're getting some chickweed
and bittercress and wild onions, spring onions are up.
We've been very dry. We've been quite warm but very dry, so things are not growing fast because we're dry.
Yeah. But we still have our typical first 3 green things up that you can forage. And Bella's actually learned that she can, because the bittercress is in bloom right now. It has this tiny, tiny white flower. And I told her she can eat it, and now she will pick it and munch on it.
You know, it's funny. Nabi talks about, Daryl Patton talks about the whole idea of the only reason you can eat things is because you've seen it before and you're familiar, and your brain differentiates it from everything else. So, we commonly look at fruit and we just know instantly that a peach is a peach, even if it's a little different looking than, one peach to the next, or an apple, and our brain figures out how to evaluate pretty well certain things, and year to year and month to month and different circumstances too. So foraging, and Nabi talks about, she looks around and everything's a salad, everything's food, and everybody else is like, get me some weed killer and get me a mower, and it's either weeds or grass. And so you have to associate foraging. Well, actually, if Bella's so young, if you train her some of these things early, she may associate them just
with food,
just instantaneously forever.
That's food, that's not.
And it might actually be easier to train her that that's poisonous, we don't eat that, and other things will just be so clear that she can differentiate them.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else just sees it as a lawn. not, oh, those are dandelions, we can eat those, assuming we're not spraying it, or here's probably eight things grow in a semi-wild lawn in the spring that you can eat.
Yeah. Yeah, Tina, I'll have to look into that because I'm pretty sure there's probably cheaper places to get our meds for the cat. Puddin had Lyme disease also, so we had to get her some strong antibiotics for a month, and we actually got that through Costco.
Costco does a lot of pet meds, and they're relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
They're starting to promote that more and more as a way.
Our vet promoted it.
Yeah.
To go to Costco or Walgreens.
Well, Costco's advertising it. They're really trying to bring people in for the pet
or
meds.
Myers in this area.
Myers is doing some of that.
Yeah. Yes, and Carrie, I did see that earlier, and I forgot to comment on it. Carrie harvested dandelion seeds from her church lawn and hoping to grow them in her place. Because, yes, that is definitely an edible green.
Pull the greens in the root, too.
Yeah. Well,
the greens get better
the
eventually.
seeds to plant them.
Well, does the church want the dandelions?
Probably not.
You might be doing them a service by pulling
the
root
out.
You can dry and make tea.
Yeah.
Or you can chop up, and of course the leaves until they get too hot and bitter.
Yeah.
I don't know how bitter they are for you, right? And the Italians like them quite bitter.
Yeah.
With strong vinegar, olive oil, pinch of salt.
She finally fell asleep, by the way. She's asleep in my arms. She was ready to go down. So yeah, I mean, the dandelion greens are starting to pop out. The sorrel is another one that's starting to come up. So we have sheep sorrel coming up right now. Not the wood sorrel. That's a different thing altogether, but similar taste. What else do we have coming out? The raspberries and the rose bushes.
Well, right now we're getting raspberry buds, which are really delicate.
The leaves.
They're not even barely. They're just budded.
Yeah, they're just coming up.
Yeah. Apples are budding.
The leaves off the raspberry and the roses, you can harvest those and
Deacon said you can take all you want. That's what I figured. they probably do it with service if you dig dandelions.
Yeah. Make a good salad out of it and serve it back to them at the next potluck. But yeah, so there's a lot of things to forage.
Just don't make dandelion wine. They may not want that.
You know what I didn't get pictures of?
What?
Is the new trees. We have new trees.
We have about half of our new trees.
Orders, yeah.
We have another one probably coming in about next week.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of running out of room because I really wanted to take some trees down this winter, and we've just stayed very busy. No way that I could get a few days. Bella's taking a lot of time, mornings and evenings and whatever, so it's hard. But it's just I've been consistently busy all winter.
Yeah.
But we got in.
Which is a good thing, but
yeah, it's fine.
It's hard to get projects done.
We got in some gooseberries and some
hardy
kiwi and some more currants.
And what was that special tree?
Medlar.
The giant medlar tree.
It's supposed to be a cold hardy medlar, all from trees of antiquity, which is actually in California. But they must be in a cooler area up the hill or something.
Yeah, I'll have to look up where
they ship a lot of stuff to cold hardy climate areas.
Yeah.
They were nice, well sized. They had large, they were trimmed all the way down and dormant, and they had quite a bit of root. All the soil knocked off of them, but a good amount of root. So we seem to be quite happy, and they actually guarantee them if you take a picture, whatever, send their die, and you get a hold of them before July, they will resend them.
Yeah.
So they've got a pretty good guarantee. So we have those. Those were birthday present.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a deal. I didn't realize it was the same company. I had heard a podcast on this. The oldest apple in the United States.
Yes.
The tree lasted for years and years. There's progeny from it. It's very well confirmed that this is a rootstock from the very first apple tree, and it's a multi-purpose, dual-purpose tree that actually tastes pretty good because a lot of the old trees just were spitters. They were
more cider trees.
Cider and not good. So this is a cooking, eating. It's probably going to be a little, interesting eating, and and cider apple. I got to remember the name of it. It's kind of a funny name.
Mm.
So I got one of those coming in, which is what I was shooting for. But then I bought a heirloom or ancient heirloom apple blend, which I think is 5 or 6. I think it's 5 that they pick. It's a common. I think you could say cider or eating cooking or one or the other combo, and they select from their many trees of very traditional, historic, good good eating, good using apples. And then I have there's a couple more Asian pears because they both died last year. They never took off. They were not good starts. So I just got the notice to pay the second half of it. So I assume they're going to be in the mail in the next week or so. But we got to find some room for those, and I think that's going to pretty well fill our
space right now.
Our vines and fruit trees, unless we have some major losses. It's going to be a while, but some of these will start bearing in a year or two, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Some are heading into their third year with us.
Yeah.
And I think if even half of these take off over the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to be so fruit heavy.
It'll be fun.
Probably. And, we've got to see if they're going to do well, if we're going to have to spray or not spray, or they're going to, some of the apples are very hard to grow without spraying around here.
Although, Stefan Sabkowiak, he sprays his apples, but he sprays them with whey.
Whey and ash and
there's a variety
soap
of things.
Problem is, he's doing it full time. And he knows what he's doing. We're so busy, even if we know what's happening, we can't necessarily get out there that day. Be like, we have to spray tonight. Even if we have the stuff and we know what to do.
But I don't want to spray our apples if they don't survive.
And that's why we're shooting for some of these more ancient apple, varieties. Hoping we can always go to some modern disease resistant, but we're going to try some older ones. And then the medlars should have, and the currants and the quince and some of those things have very few, gooseberries have very few diseases. They tend to, you got to watch out for the quince, but for fire blight.
Hosts fire blight. I don't know if it affects them so much.
No, but it gives it to your apples and or peaches or whatever.
Yes.
So
Noah's Ark said she got morel mushroom spores. And by the way, Noah's Ark, I did place an order for the birdhouse that you won last month, but they are on back order right now. So I was told by the guy directly that he was restocking this weekend, but I looked on Amazon and it says that it's not going to be available till May. So I did order it, but it's going to be a little while before
There's an alternative. There's somebody locally making some bluebird houses, a little different than that one.
Yeah.
I drove by the road. I think I've seen him before. He just had them on the back of a pickup truck. One of those drop your money in the bucket, which I thought they were fairly high value for drop your money in the bucket. But I grabbed two. He has them made out of fence posts, or fence lumber, which it had some green streaks in it. I'm wondering if it might be treated or if it was just some fur that had.
But he also had some.
He had some cedar. And then they had the little picnic tables with the corn cob for the squirrel feeders. But those are stupid. I mean, they're kind of funny, but they're stupid. And we don't need to feed the squirrels. We don't need to bring the squirrels. Oh my gosh, they have plenty of feed.
We want to attract the birds. We don't really want to protect the squirrels.
The squirrels are well fed.
Yes.
So so that guy is down the road a little bit. If he's out again, I could grab one of those for you. Yeah. We put up 2 of those today, and then Sydney's mother had dropped off 2 similar ones.
Yeah.
That were maybe cedar that we had put up last week. And then, did you copy that picture of that crazy thing and ask people what the heck it is?
Yeah. Actually, hold on.
We need to know what the heck to do with this because we think it's non-functional.
I think it might be a feeder, but hold on.
I'm trying to figure out if to sue it or.
I might have forgotten to add it. Let me add it right now.
Yeah, this is a question. If anybody knows, it came to us was part of a gift of some stuff, but. So we did a whole bunch of gardening. I know you talked about planting seeds. We burned a huge pile of brush. It's been there 3-4 years.
We meant to make a hugel bed out of it.
Yeah, and it was so we decided just to burn it down and get the ash.
Yep.
It burned really hot and fast. Hopefully we didn't.
Rebel canner successfully transplanted morels last spring and it stayed alive. Hope it drops spores. That would be
If
cool.
you take the sporing heavy, large, almost falling apart morel, and you scoop up some of the dirt and moss around it or whatever, and you try and transplant that into a similar environment,
You might get something.
it may. And when it comes to next year, it's a new plant, and it's a new, not plant, it's a new fungus.
Yeah.
But the spores will be in that material,
Inoculate.
and if you have the right conditions, it will definitely grow.
Yeah.
We have a friend that sells, a couple people sell
Yeah.
morels like that. They're kind of past their eating stage.
This is the thing. We found it in our garage or something.
Well, it was with the other two bird feeders that I think your mom gave us.
Oh, my dad must have brought it.
They were all in the same box.
I'm thinking it's a suet feeder. I'm thinking there's round suet things you could stick in it, but I'm not sure.
I think you could pack it with peanut butter. Suet. The thing is, there is no pedestal for them to land on, so they'd have to.
Well, woodpeckers don't need.
No, they'd have to grab it in flight.
No, you can land. The woodpeckers will grab onto
That's
the
true. They
wood.
would so. So that's like a piece of pine. It's just bored out holes.
Yeah.
I was thinking if it's ornamental and somebody's good idea of a non-functional feeder, we could fill it with straws and see if we get mason bees to use it.
Make it into a mason bee house. Yeah.
Because we've never, I don't know what type of bird uses it. It just seemed.
Yeah. Now I bet you it's the woodpeckers and the suet eaters.
Yeah. It's not hollow in the middle. It's just drilled through holes.
Yes, all the way through the thing. So and they're about inch and a half.
Inch and a half. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see if you have any ideas. If you have any, it's not a nest. So
if you've ever seen one and knows what type of bird, we just hung it in a tree today just for the heck of it. It's empty right now.
Yeah, it is. I bet you could get suet tubes that are about that size or something. Anyway, so there's that, or you can always make your own suet. We do have to do our giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a question, but our giveaway will actually be your choice of how many decorated eggs?
I think I get you a half dozen probably. That's pretty. We were selling those for $20 or $4 a piece yesterday.
Yeah.
At the market, but I'll just keep them till next year for us to decorate, and I'm happy to, if it meets somebody's fancy and they'd like us to try and pack them up nice and mail them out, we'd be happy to send you
half dozen decorated blown out eggs.
They are emptied.
Goose and duck eggs.
Most of them are goose.
Most are goose.
So they're about 3 to 4 times the size of a chicken egg. The duck eggs are about double a chicken egg, so they're on the large side.
That versus our standard pasta, which is the other thing in this picture here.
Yeah, we have a new variety there that we just launched yesterday. It is rustic rotini, or basically an extra large rotini. So it's almost a ½ inch across, and it's about an inch or a little longer. And that is a plain organic blended with spinach, garlic, herb. And we're thinking that's going to do really well this summer. Probably do well all year, but I think it's going to do really well this summer for pasta salads especially.
That sounds good.
So that we just packed it. The first 10 brought them to market. I sold most of them. And we had kind of a slow market because most kids are coming back from spring break this week. Mm-hmm. They're on spring break in town. Our village is going on spring break, and then of course you have Easter and all the different going on. So we didn't see a lot of families. Our traffic was modest at market this week, no surprise. So we sold a bunch of them already, so I think they're going to do just fine. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to have other new shapes in, but they're still stuck in
transit
They
world.
cut them wrong, and then I can't get them to do them again, and then they broke open crates in transport.
They have to come from Italy.
Yeah, from Italy. So I don't know. I'm supposed to have more shapes. And I order them in November or December, and here we are, market starting, and I have no dies, new dies. So, and I paid for them.
Okay. Anyway, so you'll get a ½ dozen of those blown out decorated eggs versus 2 bags of pasta if you are the first person on our screen live chat to answer the question correctly. So my question is, if you can name 2 of the types of things that we planted directly into our garden. I listed a number of things that we planted, but if you could name 2 of the things that we've planted in the garden already, today or the last couple days here, I mentioned it earlier in the show. And if you weren't here earlier in the show, just think cold hardy and you could probably guess. But yeah, we have things in our garden already. Let's see how much of a delay we have, as it'll take a minute. Okay, guys, and this is open to everybody. There's no restrictions on who can answer the questions. Any of you guys can answer the questions. Doesn't matter how recently you've won in the past, because there's only 9 people in the room. So just go ahead and list 2.
Those are pretty good odds. I have a big splinter in my hand.
Oh no. Oh no.
I don't know where it's from, but
onions and garlic. I did not plant garlic just recently. In fact, I didn't plant it last fall.
Garlic is ideally planted in the fall or early winter. Yep. At
Other
least
guesses.
The hardneck garlic that we grow around here.
No,
California
you pretty much,
garlic's different.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty much, I think most places you plant those in the fall in general. But you have to have they have to be outside in the cold for winter, for the hardneck garlic that we have here though. So no, not to the garlic. Other guesses? Other guesses? Come on, guys. Noah's Ark, you can guess. White picket fence if you're still in here. There's 8 people here now. Curie, you could guess.
Well, we should get the 10 o'clockers coming in now.
I know, we do often get some of the
they may not know the answer.
Late. So, what 2 things did we plant?
2, that's easy.
2 of the things.
Should be like 3 things.
Well, we planted spinach and lettuce. Yes, Curie.
Too early for sweet peppers, Miranda. Way too early.
Yeah.
Gotta wait for the frost and all that to dissipate.
Spinach and lettuce. Yes, those are 2 things that we planted. Curie, that was a good guess. Cold hardy things. Spinach and lettuce. We did plant both of those. We planted, I think I said greens earlier, but I'll count that because those were 2 of our greens. And we also, just to let you know, planted some carrots and radishes and peas and onions. So onions were on the list, but garlic was not.
And compost we planted.
Compost we planted.
Ashes we planted.
Yeah.
We got a lot done in an afternoon.
We did get a lot done this. And
we
plant
we
eggs.
Got a little bit of sunburn.
You want the eggs.
Yeah, the eggs are nice. It's something different. And we tapped at the bottom. Some of them have a little bigger hole. Some have a little smaller hole or a crack in them, but
they're nice. They're nice.
They're only they only have a hole in the bottom. We did not.
Oh no, Tina!
I did not do the hole in the top, hole in the bottom. Blow them out with a straw or your lips method. Yeah. So they are. Yep. And then we put a light poly shellac, so they're lightly shinier than even before. So yeah, they came out really nice. And Amy did them for us. She did a really good job.
Yeah. So we'll get you a half dozen and send them to you. Just remind me your address, send that in the email. I probably have it in the email way back, but if you could just send a new email to me at parttimepermies@gmail.com, that would be great. And yeah, Tina, you'll have to stick around to the end on the next one because who knows? Who knows what we'll have next month? This was kind of last minute. Oh, we still have some of these. Let's give these away.
Yeah, because I'll put them in a box and put the rest down. I think we made about 3 dozen, 4 dozen. I think it might have been almost 4 dozen. We sold, I don't know, a little over a dozen. And then I think some of the egg hunt ones went back with friends. But I think we have at least a dozen here. So I will find 6 that look nice, and we'll try and pack them up. I got lots of boxing and wrapping and things, so I think we can get them to you in one piece.
Yeah. What was the question? The question was what were 2 of the things we planted out in the garden to this last month? And Curie got it. If you went back, spinach and lettuce. Those were 2 of our greens, and we also had carrots and radishes and onions and peas.
Oh, and I planted 40 pounds of forage seed today.
Oh, yes. We didn't even mention that.
Well, that's the important part.
It is. Our forage blend and our our place where we got it, they are mill, a local mill,
Feed mill.
female. They want to do a video with us describing what they do as far as.
He's really neat, and he
is.
He cooked a bunch and has some
He's a
culinary
chef,
background.
yeah.
Well, his sister went to Johnson Wales, but he did cook a bunch.
Yeah.
So they really think about their food as being used, and it's an older town where farmers and Amish and other people go. So it has to be cost effective. It is not a boutique feed mill.
Buys
So,
local
whenever he can,
grains and all that.
Truckloads of.
Yep. And he mixes his own and
they grind
blends.
2 old grinders. They're over 100-year-old mills.
Yeah.
It's an old wooden building, and
it's a really cool place.
His parents ran it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, he thinks about the food in a modern as food, and they put in the nutrients and minerals and things from a packet that they need, and then he grinds his own blend, which he goes, well, I sell organic, which bags, commercial bags. He goes, but when we don't. Ours isn't organic, he says, but when you know what you put in mine, what I put in mine's probably in many ways more diverse and better than the organic, unless you have to have organic.
Well, part of it is he knows the farms it's coming from, basically. Yeah. So he is sourcing. Not all the farms around here are certified organic, so he's not going to be certified organic. But he knows it's good stuff.
If Amish crew take their buggy in on rainy days, and I've seen it many times, to come buy feed, I'm going to assume that the feed's decent.
Yeah.
And it's affordable, but he also puts in essential oils to calm them and to for good health and to try and keep pests away. And so it's not and he'll do custom blends. So he does bring in a lot of seeds in the spring. He got them in last year. They were really late. And this year, and we got all this weird rain and stuff last year.
Yeah, last year was weird.
We went in really late. They didn't grow real well. So because we broadcast spread across our backyard and grassy areas, it's all based upon the weather. How cold, how hot, do we get the right rain? Does it rain, they germinate, and then we don't get more rain because we can't really irrigate.
So he puts together not just feed for animals, but he puts together forage blends also. So that's what we're purchasing to seed our backyard with so that we could grow clovers and various grains like buckwheat and others, and some kale and some turnip and some leaf turnip, the 7 turnip.
Barley and oats, and may even be some wheat, but I think it's mostly barley and oats. I tell him anything that's early season.
And field peas.
Brassica, some radishes. So these are things that he buys. Some of them are feed related that they put in feed. Sunflower seeds, the peas, they go on hog feeds and things. Horse, different things, horse feed that he has in whole seed, and they have a decent germinating rate. No guarantee on them like fancy seeds, but he then buys the mustards and things because people want to plant small plots for feed. And he's done blends. He says years ago he made a lot of money doing.
He did hog blends, hog foraging blends, and things like that, which is why he has like some turnips and radishes and such in it. And so he does a lot of
people,
this.
They broadcast for deer up north, especially. So I tell him, just give us. I go, we don't really care because one year one thing grows, another year the other grows due to the water and the temperature. The turkeys get back there, the squirrels, the deer.
We'll probably have a bunch of turkeys in our backyard.
I think most of it gets eaten, but
it does grow. It does grow.
And then we get the turnips and radishes and things break up soil, and the buckwheat tends to grow well. The barley tends to do well. Some
the
of
clover
it comes
does
back,
well.
The clover. So we really look at it, and the greens always do. The mustards and we had
the kale and the turnips.
I think we had. Collards came up last year. Yes. Nobby's looking back. She's like, "Those are collards. What do you got collards back here?" I'm like, "I don't know.
It's a porridge.
So we just tell them put it all in there. We don't really know what's going to grow. We don't need corn. We don't need soybeans. Sometimes there's a bunch of sunflower seeds in there. I plant those later because it's a little early, and those shoots. So I'll rebroadcast sunflower, but. I tell him just put it in, and he charges a really reasonable price.
Yeah, he does. Oh my gosh!
And so we just supplement our backyard nutrients and.
So one of these days, when I don't have about 5 other videos on my list to do, I will get over there and I will do an interview and tour of his place because I just think what he's doing is so interesting. He was actually talking about watching another permaculture channel who
He's a
did
neat
something
guy.
similar. They did something similar with their feed mill, but he was like, he goes, but you shouldn't be putting this or that in your chicken feed. That just doesn't make sense. You got to do this. He just
Yeah.
really thinks it through. So it's really kind of
Well, and they
cool.
do. I mean, he sells the usual hay and straw and all that
Yeah,
stuff,
but
but he does. He supports. He's really the biggest supporter of 4-H. He
yeah,
gives so much feed to the kids for 4-H. Now, of course, that's good business because they come in for their other animals,
yeah.
and other people come in, and he buys quite a few of the animals on the auction. But he's a big, yeah,
He's a big sponsor for
big sponsor in
4-H.
the area. It's really kind of the old school. He's probably my age, a little younger. He's late 30s, early 40s. He's not some old guy that's been doing this forever. Although I did hear that I think his family has ran the feed mill, and he left for a while, and then he came back home a number of years ago and kind of took
it over.
Decided he wanted to take it over and make it do its thing. So it's pretty neat.
So I want to hear his full story on that feed mill and just get that tour and his approach to the.
They have been so busy the last year since COVID. They couldn't keep up. They were restricting feed. They were running out of feed every day. People are calling in from 2 and 3 hours away saying, "Can I get 50 bags?" The medium producers, like, "Can I get 50 bags, 100 bags?" He goes, "No, because if you get 100 bags,
he has none for his
I don't have anything for all the people who've come here all the time." No. They're still very busy. They've actually had a very good year, but it's been tough on them just to keep the labor and running out of supplies, and commodities are getting very expensive. They're going up very rapidly right now for feed. So
anyway, it is approaching 10:15. So Carrie, don't forget to remind me where to send your eggs to, and otherwise we will wrap up for tonight, and first Sunday in May will be our next live show. I'm hoping to have 2 to 3 videos out before then. Get one out this week.
We'll let you know what's in the growing in the foraging blend, because we should have some nice stuff. We'll let you know if anybody's moved into the birdhouses. Nobody moved into the birdhouse from last month yet.
Not yet, but
it's early.
The bluebirds aren't here yet. They come in mid-April or so they're going to be coming soon.
The chickens will be out in their tractor, so.
Yeah, so we're going to get them shifted out to forage soon. As soon as this forage starts sprouting, we're going to get the chickens out. And it'll be
the start of our new season. Fooled. This is way, way, way early. This is the earliest we've started any formal garden stuff. Partly due to time and having a good weekend. But we've had a bunch of warm weather off and on for the last 2.5 weeks.
And part of it is in April we get so much rain a lot of times that we can't work the soil. So it's been dry enough where we can actually get out there, but we're supposed to get some rain midweek this week for a few days. So as long as we get the nice weather on the weekend and the rain during the week, it'll be perfect timing for me to be able to actually get out in the garden and get things planted.
So we might get a jump on cold weather, which
we've had a hard time with.
Warm weather will be early to mid-May. Safety is mid-May. Remember last year we had
May 11th snowstorm.
May 11th, 2 days in the mid-20s. And burned out everything a lot. So we are not delusional that we may have a tough go to come.
That's pretty much very close to our average day last frost. Average is average. Sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's later. So we'll see how this
is too dry. That's the warmth is nice, but it's too dry.
We need a little more rain
tomorrow, maybe this week.
So, but we'll say good night for now, and we will see you next month. And keep your eyes open. I have a few videos that'll be coming very soon. So have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time. Happy Easter.